Welcome to College Sport Check Basketball for this Sunday, November 27. Scores and schedule, but first the scorers with the College Sport Check Basketball scoreboard. Saturday recap starting with Grambling defeating Savannah State. Grambling defeating Savannah State 110-104. Stetson defeating Florida A&M 98-90. Duke over Appalachian State 93-58. Xavier defeats University of Northern Iowa 64-42. Bowling Green over Morgan State 92-58. Canisius defeats Youngstown State 90-84. Vermont over Yale 67-65. Massachusetts over Harvard 70-66. Campbell defeats VMI 67-53. Eastern Michigan over Omaha 94-77. Monmouth over South Carolina State 86-62. IPFW defeats Mississippi Valley State 79-54. Texas Rio Grande Valley defeating St. Francis of Brooklyn 71-61. St. Francis of PA defeats American University 69-62. Western Michigan defeating Central Arkansas 80-63. SIUE defeating IUPUI 61-58. LIU Brooklyn defeating Massachusetts Lowell 82-76 in overtime. Ellen defeating Cal Poly 72-66. Columbia over Colgate 81-76 in overtime. Fairfield defeats Army West Point 75-74. Manhattan over Detroit 84-81. This one in double overtime, and the Navy defeats Penn 72-68. Maine defeats Maine PI 96-45. McNeese State defeats LSU Alexandria 80-78. South Carolina over Syracuse 64-50. Alabama State defeats Cal State Fullerton 76-67 in overtime. Georgia Southern over Radford 65-64. Cincinnati defeating Lipscomb 91-68. Chattanooga over Kennesaw State 88-71. Milwaukee defeating UC Irvine 54-37. Marist over Dartmouth 75-69. Missouri over Northwestern State 84-60. Cincinnati over Green Bay 88-79. Purdue defeating NJIT 79-68. Miami of Ohio defeats Western Illinois 81-72. Memphis over Iowa 100-92. Montana State over Delaware State 91-66. North Carolina State defeats Loyola Chicago 79-77. William & Mary defeating Liberty University 79-70. College Sport Check Basketball. And if you'd like to be a sponsor of the College Sport Check Basketball scoreboard, contact at College Sport Check, CommunityRadioLI.com at 631-649-6611. Southern Utah defeating Life Pacific 101-56. San Francisco over Sacramento State 77-59. Wright State over North Dakota 83-79. Eastern Kentucky defeating Berea 92-64. Richmond defeating Boston College 67-54. Western Colorado over Jackson State 58-47. Michigan over Mount St. Mary's 64-47. North Carolina Central over Northern Kentucky 82-74. Virginia defeating Providence 63-52. Notre Dame over Chicago State 91-60. Charleston Southern defeating Toccoa Falls 101-54. Marquette over Houston Baptist 101-79. Robert Morris over Towson 67-66. Akron defeats Mercer 65-63. Georgia Tech over Tulane 82-68. Central Florida defeating Seattle 67-51. Murray State over Alabama A&M 91-54. UNLV defeats Western Kentucky 71-61. Tennessee State defeating Reinhardt 96-64. Austin Peay defeats Spalding 82-63. Samford over Bethune-Cookman 93-65. Middle Tennessee defeats Toledo 73-70 in overtime, and Eastern Washington defeats Denver 85-80 also in overtime. Buffalo defeating Weber State 74-72. Maryland over Kansas State 69-68. TCU over Washington 93-90. Iona defeats Nevada 75-73. Alaska Anchorage, they defeat Drake 74-69. Rice over Incarnate Word 87-79. Penn State over George Washington 74-68. Jacksonville defeats North Carolina A&T 66-49. Davidson over Charlotte 79-57. Ryder over Wagner 70-67. Eastern Illinois over South Alabama 72-62. Creighton over Loyola Maryland 82-52. Northern Illinois defeats Illinois Chicago 91-81. Cal State Bakersfield defeats North Florida 77-54. Jacksonville State over Northern Arizona 76-63. East Carolina over the Air Force 70-63. Houston defeats Cornell 83-53. And go Seawolves. Stony Brook defeats Hampton University 76-66. Texas Arlington over Fordham 67-63. New Mexico State over San Diego 56-51. East Tennessee State defeats South Dakota State 71-59. George Mason over James Madison 80-77. Utah Valley defeats BYU 114-101. UNC Wilmington defeats Evansville 65-62. And then finally Oakland defeating UC Davis 79-66. So all in all, we had some a whole load of sports this weekend. Football, basketball. So some good fun this weekend. All right. So let's take a look what's going on for Sunday, November 27th. Today starting at 1:30, it's going to be Howard and Georgetown. This game is going to be on FS1. Two games for 2 o'clock. Prairie View A&M, Wisconsin, and CSU Bakersfield taking on North Dakota. Those games for on ESPN3. Also at 2:30, Ball State and Valparaiso, ESPN3. 4 o'clock, Mississippi Valley State taking on Indiana. Also North Dakota State and Missouri State. Ferris State, Illinois State. And then at 4:30, North Florida and Wright State. All those games, ESPN3. And then at 8 o'clock tonight, it's going to be Southeast Louisiana taking on California, the Lions and the Golden Bears, 8 o'clock on the Pac-12 Network. Become a podcast sponsor at $200 for one podcast episode. Contact info, Community Radio, talking text line at 631-649-6611, Long Island's Community Radio, communityradioli.com. Now, let's take a look at what's going on for Monday. So we do here, we got the schedule for the whole week. I've been banging out on Saturdays and then get the schedule going. So we're ready to roll. And then in the morning, we get all the scores every morning. It's clockwork, man. It's fun, though. I love it. So definitely, we keep the operation going all the way through the end of March Madness. So that's what we do here. And it's 7 days a week, middays. All right. So here's what's a rundown for tomorrow. Kentucky, Arizona State, and then it's Northwestern State, Mississippi State, Minnesota, Florida State, Kennesaw State, South Florida, Presbyterian, and Citadel. And then Mount St. Mary's takes on Arkansas, North Carolina State and Missouri, Tulsa, Oral Roberts, Wake Forest and Northwestern, Butler and Utah. And then Boise State taking on Oregon. That's an 11 o'clock game on Monday. All right, I'll say thank you for tuning in. This is Manny Allegretta, and this is College Sport Check Basketball.